Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And it's happening.
Yes.
It's happening just like we said would happen. Now all of a sudden the media is talking about Ghostbusters 2016 in relation to Afterlife.
And they're just loosely like putting things together to try to be like, wow, well, here's what he said to try to trigger people. And he did, but he didn't.
Yeah, so the Ghostbusters Afterlife director, Jason Reitman, came out and said that, this movie expands upon themes in 2016. Now, I think he's being very careful because there was a lot of backlash about this movie being released from some people on Twitter, from some people, including Leslie Jones, who was like, yeah, F us, right? Just step right on over us, even though the official Ghostbusters Twitter account stepped right over them.
Yeah,
too.
But now we're starting to see these articles, and wait till you see what he actually said. I mean, yes and no. I mean, it's very definitely trying to start something.
Yeah, because there were a lot of hits to be had in 2016 when there was backlash to this movie. Lots of hits, just like The Last Jedi, just like Gamergate, just like, oh, by the way, they're making a Gamergate TV show.
Yes, because that's what everybody wants.
Yeah, that's what everybody wanted. I don't care what you think about Gamergate, that's what everybody didn't want. So we're going to talk about this situation. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, over 236,000 subs.
Woo!
Thank you for the support. And Geeky's fresh off of watching Ghostbusters 1 and 2.
I did. I was getting stuff ready for the convention I'm doing this weekend. If you're near Altoona at Sci-Fi Valley Con, I was sewing some stuff up to help my mom out, and I was watching the movies while I was doing that, not 2016.
And it's interesting because I remember you saying about Ghostbusters 2, you're like, yeah, this one hasn't aged very well.
No.
It's like, I don't think...
It's still better than 2016.
It is, but it's definitely nowhere near the same level that the first Ghostbusters was. And I'm going to be honest, I don't expect Afterlife to be anywhere near it either.
But it's going to be better than 2016.
Probably will be better than 2016.
I hope so.
So anyway, lots of media outlets talking about this. Jason Reitman, you can't say or do anything if you're working on a high-profile movie without the media running with it.
Of course, they're going to run with it with their own angle.
Yep.
Okay. So go ahead and read what he actually said.
All right. So director Jason Reitman explains how he expanded on the 2016 movie. He said, "I think that remake proved, at least to me, the idea that the Ghostbusters could be anyone, and I expanded on this idea with Afterlife while focusing on the family aspect and the history that was created by the original films. Every Ghostbusters film has, up until now, been about the opening of a company, friendship through the window of a business. The co-writer and I wanted to make a movie about family. Of course, they have to bring up 2016. 2016 centers on a trio of women scientists who team up with a Metropolitan Transport Authority staffer to launch a ghost-catching business in New York.
Right, who they made the one person that wasn't a scientist, the black woman.
Again.
I know.
That was a complaint people had about Winston. Now, as I understand...
Winston's still my favorite, though.
I love Winston. I've told people... He was actually my first Ghostbuster action figure, real Ghostbusters.
Well, if I was going to buy you a figure, it was either always going to be Winston or Egon, one of the two, because those are the ones you seem to like the most.
Yeah, it's funny, because that's why Winston in Shadowbinders is named
Is
Winston.
it really? Because
yes,
whenever when I think of Winston, which if you don't know, Shadowbinders is our book, I always think of Winston from Ghostbusters.
That's
why.
Yeah, I just thought, that's a very...
Fun name.
Fun name, and he was kind of the outsider in the Shadowbinders group. There's a whole backstory there, but I was like, yeah, he's a Winston. He looks like a Winston.
It works, but yeah, that's what I always think of when I hear the name. But yeah, it's funny because it's not going to be connected to 2016 at all. So there's no connection there. That's not what he's saying. What he's saying was, I like the idea that you could have other people be Ghostbusters too, which I don't think anybody had a problem with. In fact, most people suggested that if you were going to do this movie, which most people said not to, but if you were going to do it, if they had made them like the kids of the Ghostbusters or somehow connected it to the original, people probably would have, been more open to the idea. Instead, no, we're just going to reboot it with women. And then, girl power, and if you don't like it, you're an istophobic asshole. And when they started with that, immediately it turned everybody off.
Yeah, and it's a shame because if they had, Ghostbusters 3 had been in development hell for years.
Well, the video game is pretty much it.
The video game was pretty much Ghostbusters 3, but it's a real shame because, we couldn't have, Egon back.
You can't have nice things. No, he can't have that back. Sorry.
No.
But they said that his legacy is extremely important to this film.
Yeah, and Reitman said that, every story he's ever told began with a character. In the case of Afterlife, it was a 12-year-old girl standing in a field with a proton pack. Eventually, I knew that she'd be a genius who found the neutrino wand in her grandfather's basement. I knew her brother would find Ecto-1 in a barn and go joyriding. Eventually, I realized she was a Spengler.
Well, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, they'd be like, well, Mary Sue, yeah, but in this case, it makes sense because if their grandpa was Egon, it would totally make sense.
Well, and people are probably sitting there scratching their heads like, wait, Egon had sex?
I know, right?
When did that happen?
I mean, as a woman and seeing the character, I can't think that would be fun in any way, shape, or form. I can't imagine what that would be like. Anyway.
Now, the real question is Janine going to be the grandma or not?
I don't know.
I don't know. Her taste in men, very questionable.
Flip-flop, very, and so did her taste in fashion and hair.
Yeah, that's one thing you were talking
about. She was like a completely different character.
Yeah, Ghostbusters 2, she was a completely different character, and they made Louis Tully a complete idiot.
Uh-huh.
Like, I mean, the guy couldn't have been an accountant living in that apartment building. Obviously, he's got some pretty wealthy clients.
Yeah.
If he was a complete dumbass.
Yeah, then now he's a lawyer, and he's an idiot lawyer.
Anyway, but yeah, it's still better than Ghostbusters 2016.
Yeah, it is.
Lots of faults, but yeah, it just shows that the media is like they're gonna chomp at the bit. I guarantee you, when this movie comes out, if for whatever reason, if it doesn't do as well critically as 2016, because they brought up that the critics love 2016. Actually, not.
Well, that's not a good thing. Usually, if critics love something, it doesn't always translate to actual money or audience liking it.
Yeah, but they did mention it did flop at the box office. But if the critical scores aren't as good for Afterlife as they were for 2016, those headlines are gonna scream.
Well, it's probably better then.
Yeah.
Real quick, I was gonna say, my mom, right? My mother said this is the one movie she might go to the theater to go see. And she hasn't gone to the theater forever.
Yeah.
And she said that she would actually probably go to the theater to see this one. And that was coming from my mom.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of excitement. We said about Venom doing really well. And I'm like, I have to wonder if Ghostbusters isn't going to beat Venom at the box office.
I don't know.
I mean, Ghostbusters isn't as big
Spider-Man's going to.
Spider-Man's going to destroy everything.
I can't tell yet. I honestly can't tell. I mean, I know we'll be there. But, I mean... My mom's probably going to be there, but as far as, globally how it's going to translate, I can't say yet.
Yeah, this one I want to go see opening night. I want to go see the preview for it. So, I mean, we've been waiting. God knows we've been waiting long enough for this movie.
But I saw this, and I wanted to see this one. 10 Ways the Ghostbusters 2016 reboot is underrated. Oh, please tell me, Screen Rant, what are those 10 ways?
Despite a largely positive critical reception, it received a more muted response from audiences.
The audiences didn't like it. I'm sorry, muted. Bet you wish you could mute me.
The cast is strong. Actually, you know what? I'm not gonna completely disagree with that. I think that they had some talented people working on a very unfunny movie. Talented-ish. I'm looking at your face right now.
I'm sorry. I'm like, no, I disagree with you.
I like Kate McKinnon.
I do.
Okay,
I'm just gonna disagree with you on this.
I like Kate McKinnon.
As soon as I saw the people they were picking, I was like, oh my God, it's Bridesmaids the movie.
Yeah,
the Ghostbusters movie.
Well, it literally is, because the guy who did Bridesmaids.
And I'm just like, okay, no. So I will disagree with you on that one.
So it's better in 3D.
Okay, well, I don't know, because I don't watch 3D movies because they make me dizzy, and then I have trouble walking afterwards. I keep running into things.
Yeah, we didn't watch it in 3D. I actually thought the effects looked, since they weren't the practical effects of the original two movies, I thought they actually looked very video gamey.
To be fair, they're better than the bathtub in Ghostbusters 2.
Oh, the rubber
puppet.
Yeah, the bathtub puppet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Holtzman's arc. Does she have an arc?
I'm trying to figure what her arc is other than, look, I'm the quirky one.
Gadgets are cool. No, actually, that was one of the things I hated the most about this movie was it was like it went out of its way to be like, oh, yeah, what did the boys do? Oh, okay, we're going to do it better. We're going to have,
Yeah, but you know what? You're not wrong. But what I just watched the other movies. What I noticed was they went into it, they had already kind of tested it. They weren't sure how they worked, but they kind of knew the science and they knew what they had with sound. These girls were like, well, let's go out and test it. Oh, look, there she is. Flying all over the place, holding on, blasting people's motorcycles and everything else because they're too dumb to figure out how to use the machinery
that they made.
I mean, as a woman, I thought that was kind of insulting. Like, you're basically acting like we made it. We don't know how to control it because,
Because it was like ridiculous. Like, oh, we got pistols, we got freaking,
Oh yeah, that was dumb.
ridiculous traps and ridiculous. I'm like, okay, so what's next? They're gonna have like nunchucks or something, like proton nunchucks, or
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Melissa McCarthy like backflip it.
Look what we could do with all our cool special effects. But yeah, it was one thing I thought was interesting. Like in the original one, they explained it, but they kind of just did it. And in this one, they're like, oh, we gotta, Melissa McCarthy have to go up in the air and look like an idiot.
Yeah.
The proton glove.
The Ecto 1 is improved. It is?
I didn't get that.
It is. The No Ghost logo's origin. Yeah, it was kind of dumb.
Yeah, that was really stupid. That was really stupid.
Yeah, and then the logo became the
That was stupid.
No.
No. Paul was it Figs directing? Yeah. No.
Mm-mm. Wasted. And then Dan Aykroyd actually came out. Like, I think it's so funny. They these poor actors, they trotted them out. And it was confusing for audiences too, because that was one of the biggest problems with the trailer, was that they made it out like it was a sequel to the original, because they're like, 30 years ago, 4 scientists saved. Mm-hmm. And then,
Yeah, well, that has nothing to do with it. They're rebooting it.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with it.
No. And so then everybody's like, oh, look, all the original. And then they're probably confused. They're like, what the hell's going on? These aren't, But Dan Aykroyd, he took the check originally and was like, yeah, it's a great movie, great cast, great whatever. They totally threw him under the bus. Like, yeah, they lost a lot of money.
Well, to be fair, wasn't it him and Harold Ramis that made Ghostbusters?
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean...
Yep. The ghosts are spooky. No, they're not. They're not spooky.
What, the one in the back of the woman's head? Is there something on my neck? It might be a rash. I'm like, are you serious right now?
Abby and Aaron's friendship.
No, I found that so...
The musical number?
Something annoying.
Protect the barrier.
Was it the barrier? Yeah, the barrier. God, I hated that.
Yeah, this movie just wasn't good. I mean, I'm having flashbacks now, and I'm like, I haven't seen it, and so I saw it the one time.
They called me Ghost Girl. They called me a lot worse. So you know what?
Yeah, this one's going down the memory hole. But it wouldn't surprise me if at some point they'd be like, we're gonna build. Wow, Afterlife did really good. We're gonna build the Ghostbusters cinematic universe, the GCU, and we're gonna do a multiverse just like Spider-Man and Marvel are doing, and we're gonna bring the other Ghostbusters over. They did in the comic books. They had all the different Ghostbusters from all the different continuities. And
I don't remember. I didn't read the comics. But,
somebody somewhere will get a brain fart and be like, "Yeah, we had one good movie. Let's just milk this thing."
Probably. Sorry, I was distracted by now Screen Rant's trying to make that one word that starts with an L, it adds with an X stick too. I'm just like, everybody's trying to push that. They will not stop, even though people keep asking them not to use it. We don't like it. They're all doubling down on it. Sorry, I just was distracted by that.
That's hate speech.
Because they decided that that's what they're gonna call you, and you better like it.
You better like it.
Whether you like it or not doesn't matter. That's what these white people decided to call you.
White people decided to call you that. You better like it. So there are a lot of articles. We're gonna oh my God, Clownfish TV.
Well, you're clear back into June and August.
How the hell, Clownfish TV? Fuck those guys.
This is the past week, so we got. They're gonna have sneakers. That's cool.
Reeboks, yeah. But they mention it in every freaking article now. So we're gonna see a lot of talk about Ghostbusters 2016. I guarantee. Yeah, much of the hype surrounding the sequel is based on the fact that it's a proper one, ignoring 2016's all-female reboot. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of salt, guys. Mm-hmm. A lot of salt.
Expect it to flow.
Expect it to flow, but I'm also like, this is Hollywood we're talking about. They're not going to let this movie go down the memory hole. They'll be like, no, we're going to give them a whole series. We're going to do a whole series on Ghostbusters 2016 on streaming.
Well, if you like to lose money, then knock yourself out.
So there we go. All right, we got to wrap this one up.
Oh, please do.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.